Hey, crafty friends, it's Crystal here to film my September currently inked review. So this is the first time I'm doing this because this was the first month I did the currently inked, so this will obviously be then my first review. So we will just get going. Here are all of my lovely pens, and as you can see, this Esterbrook oversized doesn't quite fit. I have the drawer that's on the bottom. I have one of these little inserts that goes the other way, so it fits in this way. But I just put them all in here for now. So let's go ahead and get started. I left this side page empty so that I could do this. Okay, so I think I'm going to do like similar to the way I've seen a lot of other YouTubers do it, where they say like the ink, the flow, and the pen or the comfort. So like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it, so I think that's just what I'm gonna go with. I have a little piece of paper here as my blotting sheet. Okay, so first off, we had the Esterbrook Esty in Punch. I have not completed all of it, but let's see how far. Oh, right about there, it looks like. So there's still a significant amount in there. This was a really great combo. I think the ink looks nice in this pen. I just gotta say that red, which that's really what this is. I know it looks kind of multi-dimensional. It is multi-dimensional, but it's a red ink at the end of the day. And red is not one of my particular favorites, my go-tos. So I just didn't use it quite as much. I did write a really pretty letter where I decorated the paper with some really pretty kind of like red and pink floral washi, and then I wrote with this, and I gotta say it looked beautiful. But they're just, and I did journal with it a little bit. I gotta say it isn't maybe my favorite for journaling, just because I find that sometimes it does smudge a bit. That sheen can kind of smudge off. So we will say, which one do I want to do first? Does it matter? I'm gonna go with ink, and I think I'm gonna, oops, okay, I had that uncapped for a while. Ink, flow, comfort. We'll just do it like that. I think the Esty is a really comfortable pen. That's just gonna get a 10. I think it flowed really well from this. I'm also gonna give it a 10. And then the ink itself, I think I'm gonna give it an 8. But that's just because, like, this is my thing, my personal preference, right? It's not a bad ink. I'm just giving it an 8 because I didn't use it as much as I thought I did. And like, it's not the ink's fault. Dang, maybe I should give it a 9. No, I kind of want to be harsh. I feel like sometimes I watch these videos and people are like saying all these negative things and then they rate it an 8. And I'm like, wait, but you said you didn't like it. If I say I don't like something, it should be like a 4. Because 8 is still really good, right? 8 out of 10, that's still a really good rating. And then I'll just write a quick note over here. Lovely combo, just didn't write with red much. Also, oops, oh geez, also some does smearing have an A? I think so. Gosh, that looks terrible because the page keeps wanting to like lift up. Okay, I think we're just gonna leave it at that, and we will move on to the Mont Blanc 149. And this month I just finished this. What is today? The 28th, the 29th? It's almost the end of the month. But can you see that like the ink window is visible? When there's ink in here, you can't see it. So this might not write, we'll see. This pen, I have really mixed feelings about this pen. It's rather new to my collection, so I haven't written with it a ton, and I gotta say I don't really like it. This is like a really expensive pen, like pretty fancy, well loved. I don't know what the deal is. I like, it looks great in writing, but something about, maybe it's like has a funny sweet spot. Something about the way I have to hold it and write with it is not super comfortable for me. I don't love it. I'm actually going to ink it up next month with a different ink just to see what happens, see how I like it. But I don't really like want to re-ink it. Like, I didn't, like, the reason it's empty is because I really like pushed myself to write with it. So I don't know. I have really mixed thoughts. If you guys have a 149, let me know what you think. I'm really thinking of selling this. If anybody's interested in a 149, let me know. Yeah, I don't know. So the ink was lovely. Oh dear. Oh man, and I left it uncapped for a while. I think we're dry. Yeah. Okay. So I wrote it dry. There's a couple pens that I wrote dry, and what I'm going to do is we're going to skip ahead. The Every Rose Has Its Thorn has a decent amount of ink left. So the ones that, I finished, I'm just going to write with this. So, ink and flow. I'm going to give the ink a 10 and the flow a 10, and the comfort, oh, man, let me hold the pen again. I think I'm going to give it an 8 because it's not like uncomfortable to hold. I think it's the sweet spot, something about the sweet spot. So you know what? I think I'm going to give it a 7. Maybe it'll change next month. But again, I said I wanted to be harsh. But I'm going to go with a 7, and maybe next month it'll redeem itself a little bit. We'll see. Like, what do I want to say about this? Ink looks lovely on page, but something doesn't feel, quite. And it's not like it's bad. It's just like not optimum. It's not the best. Especially since that is a big old fancy pen. I really want it to write perfect and just feel great. But like, I think I even said it in my the first video, the Currently Inked, that the Sailor just feels so much better. It doesn't feel quite, I don't even want to say quite right, because like it's okay, but quite excellent. It's not excellent. Okay, we're just gonna stick with that. All right, and then the next one was my Sailor King of Pen Fika Cup, and I do have a little bit of ink left in this. Just, like I said, I was kind of pushing myself to write with the Mont Blanc more, so there is still a little bit left in here, but oh yeah, I pushed it like all the way up. There's not much. I'm twisting it up even more, and like, yeah, I can see a little bit of ink coming out, but it's basically gone. And I won't ink this one up next month, because if you saw my last video, I have a new Sailor King of Pen that I'll ink up. Okay, so this one, this Wearing Gold Dorothy ink, I gotta say, I loved it. 10. This one gets a 10 all around. 10s all around. I love this pen. Super comfortable to write with. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't post it, as you can see. None of these pens so far I've posted. You can't post the Esterbrook. Yeah, love it. This ink was very similar to the Mountain Thistle, but I feel like, and I think I said this before, it's like a little bit more blue, and the Mountain Thistle has like a little bit more purple in it. But absolutely love the flow. Some of the Wearing Gold inks can be kind of dry. I find that this one is not. I mean, it was in my, juicy pen, but it was great. Really, really great flow, really juicy lines. I think I didn't end up writing a letter with this, and I think that's why there's still some ink left, but I journaled with it quite a few times. And I think it's a great pairing too. Yeah. Beautiful pairing. Amazing pen. Amazing pen. Love writing with it. Ooh, it's a little windy out here. Okay. That's that on that. Loved it. And then the next one is the Sailor Pro Gear. Every rose has its thorn. Absolutely loved writing with this. And the reason it has so much ink left is I accidentally put it away. I was like going through my Sailor pens. I would think I was kind of doing like a comparison just on my own and whatnot. And then I accidentally put this one back in the drawer. So it got a bit of use in like the first part of the month. I remember doing some journaling with it. I don't remember if I wrote a letter with it, but then it got put away. So there's still quite a bit of ink in there. Let's see. Yeah, I can see the ink. Yeah. So I think I'll probably carry this one over next month. You know, I like this ink. It's not like the most incredible pairing because it's kind of a purpley pen. I mean, ink, and this is not a purpley pen, but you know, I don't know. It's not matchy, but like it's not bad. And I love the medium fine nib on this bad boy. And I think I'm gonna give this ink a 10. I feel like ink and flow oftentimes are the same, but okay, they were different for the first one. And the comfort, I'm gonna give it a 9. I think like the King of Pen size is a little bit more comfortable. I didn't post it just then, but I oftentimes do post a Pro Gear. So I'm gonna give it a 9. It's comfortable, but you know, it's the King is just a little bit more comfortable. Awesome. Oh, I love it. Awesome writer. Enjoyed. No complaints. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Okay. I don't really have much to say about it. I love Sailor pens. Maybe I'll write that. Love Sailor. Okay, next pen. Oh, actually, I'm gonna need this because the next pen was my Leonardo Angel Skin, Leonardo Momento Zero in the colorway Angel Skin with the rose gold trims with the fine nib, gold nib. And I wrote this one dry like pretty quickly, actually. This was done halfway through the month. And it's clean right now. I absolutely love this pen. The writing experience with I don't know if it was the gold nib. I mean, I think, yeah, this is my only gold nibbed Leonardo and freaking love it. I loved the ink. It was beautiful, flowed really great from this pen. I think it's a fun ink match. Like, again, it's not like matchy, but it's got this kind of light, beigey color that I really enjoy and I thought went well with this pen. So I absolutely loved it, and I'm pretty sure I did write a letter with it. I think that's why it went so fast. Yeah, it was beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and give am I gonna give 10s all around? I think so. I don't post this pen. I'm just kind of comparing, like holding this because I gave this a 9. Yeah, I think this one is just a bit better. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 10 for comfort. I don't remember having like any weird experiences. Whoops, put the wrong one back. So I'm gonna say ink 10, flow 10, comfort 10. Oh man, gorgeous pen. Gorgeous pen, fun ink, wrote beautifully. Yeah, and that's all I gotta say about that. The next one is my Golden Abalone. I also loved writing with this one. I still have, I think the ink is mostly gone. I think it's all the way up at, yeah, it's all the way up at the top, but I think it'll write a little bit. We'll see. It's been a couple of days since I grabbed this. Finished this one up a little later in the month, but I definitely wrote a letter with it. I remember later in the month writing a letter with it. And oh, I already wrote the 10. Ink 10, flow 10 out of this nib. And I gotta say, I did get that letter that I wrote. I remember getting really consistent shimmer, and I was pleasantly surprised. The shimmer is just a little bit more subtle. So, and I don't mind that. This shimmer was subtle, but it was consistent. So I was really happy about that. And the sheen too, beautiful and consistent. So I was really happy with it, and I just love a dark purple ink. I really do. I love purple in general. This is the same pen, so it's also going to get a 10, or, you know, same pen style. So it also gets a 10. Yeah, I just loved it. Great ink. I don't think it's dry at all. Some people say their Ferris wheel presses are dry. I don't find that that's like a good sweeping statement for Ferris wheel press inks. Maybe there's a few that are dry, but overall, I actually think they're pretty well-behaved inks. Great ink. Loved the shimmer and sheen. Yeah, enjoyed having both medium and fine nibs in the Leonardo. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and clean this one out, and it'll probably go back in the pen box. I've got a lot of other fun pens, so I probably won't ink this up again next month, but it was great. And then we have my Esterbrook SD with my journaler nib, and I gotta say, I absolutely loved this. Let's see how much ink is left in here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, not very much. It's not quite at the top, but it's getting there, so it's basically done. And this was inked up last month too, so I'll definitely just clean this out and put something new in it or put it back on the shelf. Let's see. The ink, I'm gonna give a 10. The flow, I'm going to give a 9 because there were, should I get a 9 or an 8? I think I'm gonna go with 9, yeah. I'm gonna go with my instinct, which was 9. There were a few times that I felt, I wouldn't call it dry. Someone did comment, I think on this video, saying that their journaler was really dry. I don't find mine to be that. I don't think it's very wet, but I wouldn't call it dry. But there were a few instances I noticed that it was like maybe just the little hair on the dry side. But I will say I was using ooh, that's a loud bird. Hello, sir. I was using Aeroful, I think that's how you say it, paper, which I very much love, but it is a little bit more like cushiony. You know what I mean? Like the paper has a little bit of like cushioniness to it. And I think it absorbs quite a bit. So, I mean, it's certainly fountain pen friendly paper. But I think on that paper, it had just a little bit of that, like, ooh, is it almost dry? But it wasn't. It had no skipping, no issues. You could just kind of see almost that some of the letters, the way they formed, just looked, you know, a little like a tiny bit on the dry side, but it wasn't bad, just enough to knock it down 1 point in flow. Loved this pairing and journaler nib. Whoops, sorry about that. Loved this pairing, and the journaler nib was so fun. I'm considering getting a scribe nib from them. I'm having a good time with my nibs, and I think it'd be fun to try their scribe. All right, this one. The Leonardo Furore. I have a hard time saying that word. In the Aqua Petra, extra fine with Jane Eyre. Hated it. Yeah, I made it most of the way through it, and I was just like kind of not having a good time and kind of hating it. And then I was like, okay, why are you doing this to yourself? And so I just decided to unink it, and I wasn't sure what the problem was. So I ended up putting a different ink in here. I have this, oh, I need to clean that a little bit. Whoops. I do have this inked up right now. Whoa, okay. Where did all the ink go? Interesting. I don't know what happened here. I feel like it leaked into the cap or something. I swear there was more in there than that. Whatever. We'll figure it out later. Dang. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, dry. This was a dry bitch. I feel like here on this paper looks pretty good. And like in my journal, it looked pretty good. And I didn't hate it in my journal, but I wrote a letter with this. And it was not a pleasant experience. Luckily, it was a fairly short letter. I did use like some pre-made letter stationery, so maybe it, you know, it wasn't very fountain pen friendly paper, but it was scratchy. It was pretty dry and scratchy. So it just, and I think maybe something was caught in there after that, because it just, I didn't really like it after that writing experience either. And I did stick a brass shim in there, and I think that helped a little bit. But what I did is, the Jane Eyre ink is a sample, and this was the first time I'd used it. And I will say, I think the Jane Eyre ink is really dry. Spoiler alert, I put it in my Pelikan because, again, spoiler alert, I wrote through the SBRE brown. And so I was like, all right, well, we're going to try this Jane Eyre ink in my juicy fire hose of a Pelikan pen. And while it certainly comes out of here, it has that kind of quality where you can almost like hear the squeak of the ink and the pen on the page with the Pelikan. So I would say Wearingeul Jane Eyre is dry, and I will not be buying a full bottle. It's a beautiful color, but yeah. So ink. And what's in here now is a Sailor ink. It's the Sailor Blue that was down here, which I should have written down. It's like KYOKKOU, something like that. I don't know how to say that. I can put it in the description if y'all are interested. So how do I distinguish ink and flow here? Because the ink, I think the ink is gonna get a 7, and the flow is gonna get a 4. Maybe I should be even more harsh, because 5 would be like average. So 4 means I did not like it. I don't know. I'll leave it at a 4, but like maybe even a 3, because like I said, it was dang dry. Comfort level of this pen, I think, is great. So that's gonna get a 10. Bad. Bad time. And it's writing better even, I think, with this ink, and this, maybe sticking a little brass shim in there really was helpful. I don't know. Bad time, uninked, early, wrote, dry and scratchy with skips. Oh, skip. Yeah, like on that paper that I was talking about, that letter that I wrote, it was a little bit skippy and weird. So anyways, but this ink I think is going a lot better, and this will be, I'll ink it up all the way. I don't know what the heck happened. Oh my, I think the squirrels are sending me seed presents, and the crows, oh my Lord. It's starting to get a little bit dark out here, or really overcast. So let's hurry up, 3 left. This bad boy, my Pilot E95S extra fine, loved it, wrote through it pretty early in the month. I think it was around the same time as the Angel Skin. I quite enjoyed writing with this, even though I will say the comfort of this pen is not as high, just because it's so small, so narrow. The comfort is not. The comfort, should I give it a 7 or a 6? I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna give the comfort a 6, actually, because like it's usable. I'll use it. I don't hate it. I like the writing experience, but the comfort specifically is not super duper. I mean, I was able to write Oh, this ink gets a 10 and a 10 for the flow. The Kraken's Wake, I thought it was great. Comfort, I'm gonna give it a 7. We'll see. But yeah, I loved it. I love the way that pen writes. Love the way pen writes. Ooh, that's my baby waking up. Okay, well, we're gonna have to finish this later. Okay, I'm back. Baby has been fed and my husband is watching him. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, we were talking about the Pilot Elite and how much I liked it and how it's a little small and not super duper comfy, but I love the way it writes. Grip is a little small and slippery. Okay, let's move on to my baby. The Pelikan, oh my God, the Pelikan M1000 in the Renaissance Brown. And this is a fine nib. Loved this month. That ink. So currently I inked this with Jane Eyre just because I wanted to see how that went. So it, you know, it's obviously going to come out purple. So also, okay, I thought I cleaned this sufficiently. Looking at these next to each other, I don't think I did. I think it still looks beautiful, but I think that looks a little darker than that. And that would make sense if like a touch of the brown was in there. Dang it. Piston pens are, you know, not my favorite things to clean. I really thought the water was clear when I was done, but whatever. Ink is a 10. The flow is a 10. The comfort of this pen is a 10. Loved it. Loved this. I definitely journaled with it a few times and I wrote a letter with it. I actually wrote a coffee themed letter. It was perfect. Love this nib. So bouncy and juicy. Yeah, it was just a great combo. That SBRE brown, I feel like it's well known and for a good reason. It's beautiful. Really well behaved, beautiful shading, and I loved writing with it. So I think this will just be inked up next month with the Jane Eyre, and we'll just leave it at that. But it does, like I said, it kind of, you can see it came out great here, but it just has that kind of like almost just dry against the paper feel. And then my Lamy 2000, inked up with mostly kelp tea. I gotta say, this might not be super fair because there's a little bit of the other in there, but I didn't love this month. I wish I had just cleaned it out properly, even though, like, especially here, I feel like it's really showing as mostly kelp tea. Oops. Let's just say comfort 9. It's a very comfortable pen, but it's not, oops, what's going on here? We're gonna say 9. It's great, but it's not like superb. The ink and the flow, let's see. What do I want to say here? In this pen, it behaved totally fine, but I didn't love it. I'm gonna give the ink an 8, and I'm gonna give the flow an 8. It was good, definitely. Like 8 is, you know, that's solid. It means I liked it, but I didn't love it. I don't think I would buy a full bottle of kelp tea, to be honest. It's a little bit dry. It's almost, I was gonna say overly shaded in areas, but I guess what I mean to say is it shades to be like really, really light in some areas, and it's almost too light. Kind of like, it's not really showing up on camera, but like the top of the P is like really light in person. Yeah, I don't know. Why is this like twisting like this? What the fuck's going on? Okay, I don't know. Oh, I think I was loosening something inside the cap. We're gonna leave it. Love the writing feel of this pen. Ink was just okay. All right, and that's that on that for my September review. Let me guys know what you think about like the format I did it in. I probably would have spaced this a little bit differently next time, definitely, but it worked for this time. What was your favorite ink and pen that I used this month? Oh, I didn't tell you how much of this is left. I actually can see in the ink window like all the way, and it actually looks like I wrote through quite a bit of this. I did journal with this. I remember doing a really lengthy journal one day, and I journaled a few times. So I'm just gonna clean it out, and there's not a lot of ink left. And I don't think I said, but you know, I went through this one also pretty early in the month. Those three, these three, I remember I cleaned them all at the same time, and it was like halfway through the month. I wrote through these ones pretty quick. So I know I said in my initial video that this was a lot of pens for me to have inked, and it was, but it wasn't. I think I forgot that previously when I was doing a lot of pen paling and writing, I was using almost exclusively TWSBI Ecos. I was using a lot of TWSBI Ecos when I was like a couple of years ago, when I was really doing it a lot, and those obviously hold a ton of ink, and so that, I think that's why my perception was skewed for like how much I need to re-ink a pen or go through ink. I actually do go through it a little bit faster than I remember. Anyways, that's that on that, and I will see you guys soon for my October. Sorry, I like truly did a double take when I was like, wait, is it gonna be October? Yeah, it's gonna be October. Oh, crazy. I'll see you soon for my October ink.